Today, I'm going to turn this simple Coca-Cola can into a powerful DIY antenna. Yes, you heard that right. Just a regular soda can, a piece of coaxial cable, and a few simple steps. But here's the big question. Can something this simple really receive a lot of TV channels? Watch until the end, because we're going to build it, connect it, and test the signal together. Before we start, tell me in the comments, have you ever made a homemade antenna before? First, I'm going to cut open the can. Be careful with this step, because the aluminum edge can be very sharp. After cutting it, I'll trim and smooth the edges so the surface looks cleaner and safer to work with. This may look like a small detail, but it's actually very important. A clean surface makes the next steps easier, and it also helps the antenna look much more professional. Would you have guessed that a soda can could become part of a signal receiver? Now I'm going to draw some guidelines on the aluminum sheet. Pay close attention to this part, because these lines are not random. In just a moment, I'll reveal why I'm drawing them this way. These marks will help shape the receiving part of the antenna, so every cut needs to be done carefully. Look closely at the position, the direction, and the spacing of the lines. Would you cut it the same way, or would you try a different shape? Now I'll start cutting along the lines I just drew. Don't skip this part, because the shape we're making here plays an important role in how the antenna picks up signals. The aluminum from the can acts like a receiving surface. When TV signals pass through the air, this metal part helps capture those electromagnetic waves and send them into the cable. So even though this looks very simple, the shape and connection points really matter. Are you following the cuts carefully? Next, I'm going to prepare the coaxial cable. This is the cable that will carry the signal from our homemade antenna to the TV. A coaxial cable has a few important layers. On the outside, there is the plastic outer jacket. Under that, there is the braided shield, also called the ground shield. Inside that is the dielectric insulation, and right in the center is the copper center conductor. This part is very important, so watch closely. I'm going to twist the braided shield together into one neat wire. Then I'll use a small screw to fix this ground shield directly onto the aluminum can. This connection helps complete the receiving structure of the antenna. A loose connection can weaken the signal, so make sure everything is tightened firmly. Would you use a screw like this, or would you solder it for a stronger connection? Now we move to the center copper conductor. I'll cut and leave a longer piece of copper wire, then insert it into the center hole that I prepared earlier on the aluminum can. This copper core is the main signal path, so we want it to be stable and positioned correctly. Now I'm going to use a small screwdriver to wind the copper wire into circular loops. These loops help shape the receiving element and improve the way it interacts with TV broadcast signals. The idea is to make the copper section more effective at picking up electromagnetic waves. Now the receiving head is almost complete. Next, I'll move to the other end of the coaxial cable and prepare the connector that goes into the TV. Please watch this step carefully. The antenna can only work well if both ends of the cable are connected properly. If the center conductor and shield touch each other by mistake, the signal may become weak or fail completely. So take your time here. Make sure the center copper conductor stays separate from the braided shield. Have you ever had a TV cable problem just because one tiny wire was touching the wrong place? And now, the DIY antenna is ready for testing. I'll connect it to the TV and scan for available channels. Remember, the number of channels you receive depends on your location, distance from broadcast towers, obstacles, and where you place the antenna. In some areas, this type of DIY antenna can pick up a surprisingly large number of channels. Now, look at the result. For something made from a simple soda can and a coaxial cable, this is pretty impressive. Would you try making this at home? And if you did, where would you place it to get the strongest signal? Leave your answer in the comments. Share this with someone who loves DIY projects, and follow for more simple experiments like this.